Hello, Just Jam here and welcome, or indeed welcome back to my channel. Just a quick intro today. I'm going to show you the look that I created as part of my participation in a very recent collaboration with Blend Bunny and Donidarkowitz. So this was in celebration basically of Taja's collab with Blend Bunny, the Little Miss She Never Misses palette. And that's what she looks like on the inside. So a group of 11 of us got together to do dedicated looks using Taja's collection with Blend Bunny. So I'm going to show you swatches, the looks that we all created, and then I'm going to show you in detail the look that I currently have on my eyes, which was effectively my entry or my participation in the collab. Enjoy! Here are the swatches of the Donidarkowitz x Blend Bunny collaboration, Little Miss She Never Misses. I ummed and ahed at length over how exactly to swatch this palette given the layout, but I'm quite happy with the way I've chosen to. So you've got your blues and greens up top, you've got the special shades that run down the centre in the middle, and then you've got the purples and the sort of reddy oranges towards the end. I did notice that the mattes, they felt quite dry, like majority of them felt quite dry. I'm not overly concerned about that though, because it's Blend Bunny, and at this point I'm quite happy with Blend Bunny's formula, and I don't expect this to be any different, but obviously we shall see. What I might do is swatch Cowboy Country and Goblet of Fire next to each other, because I recall that a lot of people said that they were quite similar. So if I remember correctly, that's Cowboy Country and that's Goblet of Fire. I could have switched them around, we'll see, but I'll swatch them right next to each other just so you can compare. It's Cowboy Country, Goblet of Fire, just to give you an idea. So, I mean, the shift is the same, but the undertone is different. So I can see why a lot of people were saying that they wondered why both shades were there. Yeah, just a quick reminder of all 25 shades. And then that's just with my phone running across the top, the flash from my phone. Done things a little bit differently today, and I've done most of this eye off camera, and then we're going to go through how I've done this eye together on this eye, which is probably my preferred eye, so it's good I've done this one off camera, and I'll get you up to speed. Full disclosure, this is a refilm because I went to edit the first time that I filmed this and it was dreadful, quite frankly. I think I was so nervous that I've forgotten everything I've learnt in the relatively short time I've been on YouTube, but everything just went out the window. I think nerves kicked in. I forgot to do an intro, I didn't take a thumbnail, it was just a car crash. So now that I'm feeling a bit more confident and I'm happy with the look that I ended up with, I am going to refilm, and hopefully it will be much easier to one, edit, and much nicer for you to two, watch. So as I've explained, the star of the show is the Blend Bunny x Donidarkowitz Little Miss She Never Misses palette. And what did I start with? I started with the shade Moomy, which is this purple right here. So how did this all come about? Maggie posted a story on the Blend Bunny account saying, I mean, I wish I'd done a screenshot, but at the time I responded to it, I can't say I thought very much of it, but she said, hey, like, who'd be interested in a Little Miss collab, kind of must have the palette or something like that. And I was like, hello, me, yes please. And then promptly forgot all about it until I was added to a mini group chat with a group of, so I think there were 11 of us in total, including Maggie and including Taj, also known as Donidarkowitz, who obviously collabed with Blend Bunny on this here palette. Everyone was invited to do a look focusing on the Little Miss collection. Most of us owned at least the palette, and those who didn't quickly acquired it. And it was just to basically showcase how cool this palette is. I did do a test run the first time I filmed this, and I decided I wanted to do something a bit different and step out of my comfort zone, so I did something with this column here, and through no fault of the palette, it was all human error, I just really didn't like the look that I was doing. I think I was overthinking it, I was trying too hard, I was so concerned with, like, just letting you know I'm going into Mezzo now, which is this blue shade here. I was overthinking it. I mean, I'll show you momentarily for those who haven't seen the posts that have been popping up over on IG. But when I saw everyone who was involved, my flabber was quite frankly ghasted. There were some really, really talented people. I mean, excluding Maggie and Taj themselves, some really talented and creative and experienced people as part of this group. I haven't even been doing this for a year yet. I don't really know when Maggie posted that on, like, the Blend Bunny stories, I didn't really know what to expect, but I didn't think I'd be picked. And if I was picked, I thought it would be something that would be on a much bigger scale. You know, like maybe submit your picture and then we'll decide if we're going to use it, not you're in. So yeah, some really talented, really experienced, really creative people. I was a little bit starstruck, not going to lie, super nervous, which is why I'm refilming this, because I was so nervous and everything just went out the window and it was terrible. So now I'm going into What's Up Sucker, which is this green here. So I'm just following along here, really, working my way out. So What's Up Sucker is next, and that's going on the end. I tried to focus on the red side just because I love blue, purple, green, and I thought, let's do something a bit different. And then when I did the red look and I didn't enjoy it and I wasn't happy with how it turned out, I said, you know what, lean into what you like. Just go for it. You're already out of your comfort zone because you're working with these amazing people. Don't try to go overboard with doing something maybe super out there, or maybe something that you wouldn't necessarily do. This is way more blown out. I'm gonna have to blow this out more too. This is sometimes why I don't like doing one eye at a time, because I can never balance them. Okay, I've just gone back over this eye just to kind of get it up to speed with this eye. Let us continue. And then what I did was I went to the slightly deeper row above and I'm just going to go across again to the purple, blue, green, and they are Powerline, Have Some Decorum, and Panic. I completely lost my train of thought as to what I was saying, but I think I was just explaining that I was just getting into my head. I was getting in my own head. I was overthinking things. I was stressing myself out rather unnecessarily. So I just sort of went back to basics, back to the colours that I know I enjoy, and thought maybe I'd just create something maybe a little different, but using my comfort colours. So that's when I decided on this look. And actually at the time I thought it would take me much longer to settle on a look I wanted to do, but this was actually only the second look. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how much of a difference going in with these deeper colours directly underneath makes, because I think the shimmer shade I'm about to use is probably going to end up covering most of that. But it's what I did the first time round, so I'm doing it again. What I will also say is I'm kind of taking the opportunity to finesse the look a little bit more and kind of possibly improve it a little bit based on where I thought it was lacking the first time. I mean, I'm not reinventing the wheel. I do quite like how it turned out. I mean, Have Some Decorum, by the way, the slightly deeper blue now. Looking at this eye already, now I've kind of caught it up, I think it already just looks a bit more polished than the first time around I did the look, so that's one benefit of refilming. Panic next. I'm not concentrating too hard on cleaning off my brush in between, because it just helps to get a better blend, to be honest. Touch Grass is the deepest green in there, so I'm kind of going to put that on the outer V type area. I think most of us have posted at this point. I think there were a few left. We struggled a little bit to settle on exactly when we were going to post our looks, because obviously Blend Bunny has got a collection, well, a palette coming out in the coming days. So like Maggie at Blend Bunny had wanted to have some focus, obviously remain on that upcoming launch, while also making sure that Taja's collection got some love as well. So we decided that most of us would post on Tuesday, but some of us were kind of away and without internet access. So if you're eagle-eyed and you have spotted that not everyone has posted yet, don't worry, they are going to be posting probably today and or tomorrow. So look out for the rest of those posts. In case you're not on Instagram and you're thinking to myself, what the hell are you talking about, woman? I'm going to show everyone's looks. I've checked with them and they're happy for me to show them in this video. I might even explore the idea of putting them as the thumbnail. Who knows? So you may well have seen them all already. Now I'm using my NYX glitter primer, and I'm going to put this on my lid. And let's see if I can remember to take it higher than I think I should. And get it on my lid as opposed to my lashes, because I seem to like getting it on my lid a lot. Not on my lid, on my lashes. That's the problem. God, that shade Kenneth is beautiful. I can see me hitting pan in this shade. Kenneth is just exquisite, and it's probably one of those that's designed more in mind as a topper. But I saw this shade and I thought to myself, that's absolutely delightful. I want it everywhere. Dab, 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 deposit, deposit, deposit. I mean, why would you not want Kenneth everywhere? Kenneth is outstanding. Kenneth is a star. 3 cheers for Kenneth. So now I'm picking up my Refa number 2, which I always seem to keep calling my Refa number 1 these days. I don't know why. How are we looking? Are they sisters, if not twins? I'm going to put some concealer on and tidy things up a little bit. I'm not going to subject you guys to seeing me doing this on camera, but I'm going to put this cream gel liner from Colourpop in the shade Ventura Boulevard in my waterline. I'm basically going to tidy most things up and then I'll come back and do my under eyes on camera. Don't you just love concealer? Concealer is just, it works miracles, really, to be honest. I don't know if concealer gets the props that it deserves. Concealer is amazing. Anyway, I've already put, should I zoom you in? So you can see I've already got that lovely blue in my waterline. I just thought that it would go really, really beautifully with this look. I might stay here. Yeah, I'll stay here, but I'll just sit back a bit. For my under eye, I believe I just kind of went in with the same colours, but underneath. So that's what we're going to do. Moomy, that purple. I can't remember if I went with the deeper shades or the lighter shades. Let me just try Powerline and see how that looks. I think that the deeper shades have some decorum. I love some of the names in this palette, I've gotta say. And then Panic. And I might just see if I do go in with the lighter shades, just to soften things out a little bit. That's Moomy on the inside. Mezzo. Actually, that might be enough. Then what did I use for my inner corner highlight? Let me refresh my memory. I know it was a matte shade because I'm all about the matte shades as my inner corner highlight these days. Just can't remember which one. So I can't remember if I used Giorgio or Is It Everyday. I'm going to plump with Giorgio. Is It Everyday? Is It Everyday? Refa number 3. Get right into that corner. Okay, so that's under and inner corner highlight done. I think I might have used Giorgio the first time round, I don't know. But just to show you the shades it was between, I mean that's looking very washed out, but it was between Is It Everyday and Giorgio, and today I've plumped for Is It Everyday for my inner corner. I think that works. So now I'm going to do my liner, mascara, and I'm basically just going to finish everything else off, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you what I think of the palette, conclusions on the collab, and round everything off, basically. Back shortly. I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. I'm so glad I've refilmed this because I was going to just make do with the original footage, but I'm just much happier. I think this is just a little bit more polished. I think I've nailed my eyeliner today. Like, wow. And yeah, I just really like how this has turned out. I mean, another round of applause, I think, for Kenneth all over my lid here. Kenneth is just wow, really is wow. So now I'll zoom you out and I'll show you what I've done with the rest of my face. But all in all, it's been great actually to redo this and just improve on some of the bits that I wasn't 100% happy with first time round. So I think my eyes are more even, I think they're more polished. As I've mentioned, I've nailed the eyeliner today, even if I do say so myself. I wanted a pink blush and I wanted to keep it ethereal, but I almost think like I went a bit too light with the pink that I chose. I don't even know what pink I chose last time, to be honest, but today what I've done is I've used my curve case and I've dipped into both Cherry Cola and Cowlick, so these two here, and I've just kind of dipped into them both and blended them both out, and that's what's on my cheek. And then what I've done is I've kind of set that with this shade here, which I believe it's the blush in Iridescent Rose. So I've just set it with this shade here, and that's from the Hourglass Tiger palette, which is a few years old at this point. And then last time, so because I didn't have Taj's highlighter quad, but I wanted to stick with Blend Bunny, so I do have the Noctilucent. Sorry guys, you can't get this anymore. And that's one of the reasons I don't have Taj's palette. It was between this and Taj's palette, and I thought, you know what, I can pick up Taj's palette a bit later, but Noctilucent is being discontinued, so grab that first. And first go round, I used Apparition, which is this one down here. And I used Apparition because I wanted to keep it in line with my eyes. And when you look at the back here, Apparition is kind of more blue toned, and I thought that that would go quite nicely. But when I did it, it was a bit paler than I'd have preferred. So I've just very light, I think I've almost been scared because of what happened when I tried Apparition. But I've gone in very lightly with Dreamlike instead. I mean, I can probably get away with a little bit more. Watch me now go totally ham with the highlight. It's not horrendous. I can blend that out. I'll get my brush out and blend that. But I was being very cautious. I didn't want to go overboard when I was applying it before. But I think Dreamlike works with the blush colour. And then, what did I use? So to finish off my eyes, Rimmel Thrill Seeker, Clinique. It's not Pretty Easy anymore, the name's different. High Impact Easy Liquid Liner. I prefer Pretty Easy, I don't know why they've changed that. And I have used my 89 Fine liner, which is part of Taj's collection with Blend Bunny, and I've used the lipstick Modern, which I'm going for a lot, but I just love that it's this perfect mixture of pink and brown, and it just goes really nicely with this. And I might top it off with the gloss, but then I quite like it like this. Glad I've refilmed that. I think it's given me that opportunity just to enhance what I'd done before, just improve on it. When I had finished the look, I kind of looked at it. I liked it, but there were just a few things that I think lacked a bit of refinement, so I think I've done that today. You might look at it and think it doesn't even look that different to what you posted before, which is fair enough, but to me, I think it's an improvement, and I think it's pretty, and like it. Now, the palette. I definitely want to play more with the red column because I crashed and burned, and as I say, it's no fault of the palette because look what the rest of it has allowed me to create. I really love this look. It's kind of got this fairy kind of look to it, like a garden fairy, kind of a little bit floral kind of look to it. I don't know, I just really like this look, especially now I've refined it in the way I've been able to. I think what would I say? Oh yeah, I can't remember if I did this in the swatches because I am using the old swatches that I did before, but just to kind of show you, because a lot of people commented. So this is Cowboy Country, and I'm going to swatch it next to Goblet of Fire because people commented on the similarity, so I just thought I'd show that. So this is Cowboy Country, and this is Goblet of Fire. So you can kind of see, I want to say that Cowboy Country's more red. It's got more red in it. So the shifts that they've got are very, very similar. So I can see why a lot of people have said that perhaps there isn't a need for both of them. Like, I think if you put them on the lid next to each other, it would be very hard to distinguish. You can just about see the difference there. But yeah, I think it's because the shifts, the underlying shifts are the same. And even that the overtones aren't too dissimilar. So I think it would have been quite nice to differentiate these two a bit more. Is there one I prefer more than the other? No, I think they're that similar. But yeah, just thought I'd show you those two so you could see them. In general though, I'm looking forward to playing around a bit more with the shimmer shades. So in this palette they form a cross in the layout. We've already established I'm in love with Kenneth, and while Cowboy Country and Goblet of Fire are very similar, I'm still quite curious to sort of try them out and see how each of those look. Erised, there's lots of Harry Potter references in this palette actually. Goblet of Fire, Erised, Slytherin. But Erised is one of those white shades. It looks white in the pan, but it's got that pinky shift. So I know I've done the swatches already, but just while I'm kind of talking about them. Yeah, so you see what I mean? It's very white in the pan, but then you apply it and it's got that pink shift to it. So actually they could be quite nice together. While you've got that typical sort of gradient that Blend Bunny do that gives that sort of very rainbow feel, I think it's going to be the shimmers in here that's really going to add that variety and give you very different looks when you kind of mix them together. So I'm really glad that this collab has come up and it's given me that opportunity to dive into this palette and experiment, because as part of the collab I did do lots of swatches and comparisons of shades and just seeing what I thought would go well, and I stared at this palette. I had a long period of time when I just dig this palette out and I would stare at it while I was trying to plan what I wanted to do with it. I definitely want to focus on that red column when I'm not so caught up in, when I'm not so stressed and I'm more relaxed and I can just take my time with it and I'm not quite so panicked. But on the whole, I'm glad I've picked up this palette. I was umming and ahhing, and then when I saw that it was on sale during Black Friday, I thought, you know what, just pick it up. And something that I want to do further down the line is probably do a bit of a mishmash with this and Robert's palette that he did with Blend Bunny, just to kind of show the subtle differences. Something maybe you could argue they're subtle or they're not subtle at all. This is much more vibrant, while Robert's is a bit more muted while still having that punch to it. But definitely glad that I've picked this up, and zero complaints with the formula. That's one of the things about Blend Bunny. They do blend pretty beautifully, even if you're not the most skilled blender in the world. So I've got to give it to Blend Bunny for the formula. And I think I'm gonna leave that there. Would I recommend this palette? I think it's one of those, it almost depends what you've already got in your collection. I'm glad I've got this. Like, a lot of people rate the Ellis palette, but I don't know if I'd be happy with just that one column of shimmers in there. Like, I love the fact that you've got this cross and there's a lot of combinations that you can do. So you can use those mattes as a base and then you can switch things up and really get unique looks because of the shimmers involved and the way you can layer them. So I think that's probably what sets this apart from Ellis. Yes, Ellis has got that wider collection of shades, most definitely. It's very comprehensive in that sense. but I think one of the reasons why I haven't picked up Ellis is just because I like a higher ratio of shimmers in a palette. As in, not to say I like more shimmers than mattes, I just prefer there to be more shimmers, maybe like a 60-40 or a 70-30 split towards the mattes. That I think is kind of how I like my palettes to be. But all in all, love this palette. Ow. Love this palette, and I think you've heard me rave about the 89 fine liner loads. Love this liner. I think it should be a staple in everyone's makeup kit, to be perfectly honest. Love it. There we have it. That is the Donidarkowitz Present Little Miss She Never Misses Eye and Face palette, and this has just been a bit of a summary of the look that I created as part of the collab I participated in. I hope that you've enjoyed that, seeing a bit more in detail how I created the look. Let me know what you think of it. Have you seen the posts on Instagram? I'm going to share everyone's looks as like a little bit of a montage, just so you can see what everybody else has done. Surreal, really happy that I've had the opportunity to take part, hoping that I'll be able to take part in similar collaborations in the future, and thank you very much for Taj and Maggie at Blend Bunny for allowing me to join in. As always, thank you for taking the time to watch. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can see when I upload in the future. Take care, and hopefully I'll see you again in a video in the not too distant future. Bye!